Hey guys, welcome back to the daily vlogs. That's right, we return day number 36, and it's the day after the WePlay Pushka League finals. It's all done now. Season 1 in the books, written in history forever, the secret were of the victors. And now I gotta look forward to the future. But before we do that, we'll look at the past. Because actually, I will just point out this is going to be my last daily vlog of this apartment here in Ukraine. Hopefully, I get to come back soon. I love Kiev, but I'm done. Managed to sort a final moment flight. I'll talk more about that in upcoming videos and my decision behind that. Because right now, what I want to focus on is just looking back at what honestly was an amazing event. In fact, I'm going to do this in two parts. Today, I'm going to talk about like my thoughts on the teams, and tomorrow, I'm going to talk about my thoughts on me. So let's actually let's break this down, right? Team Secret is the most obvious place to start, like the most dominant goddamn force in this tournament. I don't feel like anyone even came close to scratching them. Yeah, you could say they had those early losses in the groups. I believe they lost one series, which was a 2-1 favor of Liquid, and they dropped a game here or there. I believe they dropped one against OG. All in all, it's very hard to criticize anything that Team Secret have done for this tournament. They have been far above the rest, and I can only hope that when teams walk away from this, they've learned something from Secret, and they can take it to a next step. In regards to that, I definitely think the top three teams are the ones to watch in that. I think there's one or two outside that which I'll move beyond, but we'll start from the top. We'll work our way to the bottom. It's a little bit different the way people like to go through life, but VP Prodigy, man, these guys, one hell of a performance against Team Liquid, but they couldn't put a dent in Team Secret. I don't think they should be discouraged though. I think if I was to break down individual performances, I think FN has had the most standout and goddamn impressive performance out of any one individual player in the entire tournament. He should be proud of himself, and I only hope that the Prodigy boys grab a hold of him and don't let go, because like he completes this team so well. I think for a team that basically just formed, I'm blown away by the progress that they've made across this tournament and how decisive they've looked when dealing with practically everyone minus Secret in this event. Looking at Team Liquid, once again, blown away by the progress that we saw from ESL to the end of this tournament. It's a shame they went down the way they did against Virtus Pro Prodigy. I have to give credit to VP Prodigy for playing the ultra aggression, very risky style, so goddamn well. But at the same time, I definitely think Liquid, they're looking at what they've done. They probably don't feel that they showed up on the day. I think it'd be fair to say that that was not the best Dota we've seen them play. Not to discredit VP Prodigy's victory, but I think like Team Liquid, if they show up at the best that we've seen in this tournament so far, that would have been a 2-1 series. And I think it you could very easily have seen either team take that. When you consider the way that Prodigy played in that one, like that was one of their best performances. So I would say that we have a formidable matchup waiting to happen again, and hopefully we get to see it soon. But then when we look a little bit further back, Virtus Pro, really, it's really hard to like hit on the issue with this squad or where they went wrong without feeling like you're maybe drilling into ILTW a little bit. And it's not his fault. I think when you consider the way that they play the Dota right now, it is a 4 protect 1, but maybe in a weird sense, because quite often, instead of that occurring, you end up with no one and Rezo getting like high priority farm because they're so goddamn good at finding it. And then ILTW maybe falls back as a playmaker type hero or whatever. It just feels like when I'm watching the team right now, I don't know if it's because ILTW's heroes don't fit, or his playstyle doesn't fit, or he's not being enabled to do that by the team, but it feels like the pop-off performances I see time and time again are either no one or Rezo. And I think ILTW is a very capable player. He's proven that in the last like 2 years. I don't think anyone doubts that. But there's something about the team dynamic that's maybe not allowing that to shine. I think that's something that VP needs to adjust. They want to keep him, or maybe it's time to bring Kuman back in. No one knows what the hell's happening with Kuman. He's been benched since like early April. I hope if they're not going to use him, they at least release him. I think Kuman, he kind of tripped up when he got locked in. I think it was Team Empire. Because everyone wanted him at that point. But I think that boy still has a lot of potential. He just needs the right squad to help shape it. Looking a little bit further down though, we've got Nip and Alliance, and now this is where it's kind of like day and night comparisons. Alliance, I actually love the improvements that we've been seeing out of them. You know, it's no shame to lose to Team Liquid, that was one of the favorites. To manage to 2-1 like they did, to actually grab a game the way they did was quite impressive. I just think what Team Liquid proved is that they can get a solid foundation to their draft and then force you to react to theirs. That's something that I think Alliance is going to learn from, and that's definitely something that I expect to see them improve going into the next 1, 2, 3 events. And by that point, when they actually get that like ironed out, those kinks out, and they maybe if they get FNG as a permanent member, I could see Alliance being easily one of the top 3 EU teams to watch. On the other side of it, a team that I am very skeptical and very doubtful and very disenfused by right now is Ninjas in Pajamas. I feel like people hype these guys up going to this event. You know, they did start off really strong, but then it felt like with most of the victories, whenever you broke it down, you were like, it did feel a little bit cheesy. It did feel a little bit, you know, select spice in the draft. And that's not to take credit away from teams. You know, if you can cheat your way through to victories regularly, great. But what we really saw out of Nip is that when you're backs up against the wall and you get figured out, where's your backup plan? What is your backup plan? Because right now, I think the way the team dynamics work don't work. It feels like quite often, Saberlight either has to like get every item in the world that they possibly need, or you have to have Supreme completely dominating and popping off, and then Charlie's just like farm, farm, farm. Charlie's like playing this very kind of traditional farmy type hero role, and that just doesn't work in Dota right now. I think that whole dynamic in general isn't going to work. Even if you go back to older Dota, like the expectations of what you want Supreme to do in a game, or what Saberlight needs to like have in terms of gold in a game by 20 minutes, is not always achievable. So the difference between teams like Nip and Alliance is they had this complementary intro-outro situation where S4 can become the carry, as we saw in some of their games, or Nico Baby will be your true win condition, and then Limp can be this type of playmaker, and you know you're able to actually make these plays and unlock your game potential a lot easier. And then when we look even higher at Team Secret, it's this whole idea that anyone can kind of have that substantial input where the items, the timings, the heroes, they all synergize. They all complement each other. It's layers upon layers. It's what's called a clava cake. It's nice, tasty Napoleon cake. And Nip lacks that in abundancy right now. I think they are a little bit too predictable, and I really hope they're going to go back to the drawing board, review that. I don't think I want to see them kick a member necessarily yet, but I think they need to actually sit down, have a serious conversation with each other about what's going wrong with the team dynamic and what went wrong in this event compared to the last one. Because there's no doubt these guys, you know, they've done very well as chicken fighters in ESL one's EU/CIS. This is a different meta for a start. Straight away, you could feel it's a different meta when you look at the fact that one of the grand finals from the ESL one didn't make it to the playoffs. The other one didn't get past the lower bracket round 3. It's got to be the wake-up call, and I hope they do wake up, because I would love to see these guys go far. I'm a really big fan, especially of Saberlight, Era as well. I've wanted to see that guy succeed for so long, and I'm actually happy that he's getting some success now. Funnily enough, I think he's back where he started. I believe he started Nip in 2015. And let's round it out by looking at Na'Vi and Hellraisers. Na'Vi, I don't feel like I would need to say too much, given the rumors going around that I honestly could 100% believe. I think there is going to be a roster shuffle. I think there is going to be some big changes there. We'll just have to see where that lands. I think someone has to change. I feel like they've been stuck in their ways for too long, and it's just not working at the core of it, right? When you think about your 1, your 2, especially. I do hope they keep Ilias around, though. I think I like having this kind of prodigy 5 just coming in and actually being allowed that kind of seat at the big boy table. I think he's been proving himself capable. It's just the way that Na'Vi plays as a 5, right? There's this whole reliance on your mid just dominating. And if Magical doesn't dominate, no one has a game. Not no one, the VP player. I mean, nobody has a game. On the other side, Hellraisers definitely went out very early. I don't think anyone really anticipated this to happen, getting 2-0 in the upper bracket and Ninja Pajamas, which would just highlight the issues with their style at the moment, and then getting 2-0 by VP. I honestly don't think they have anything to be ashamed of, though. It's a lesson, right? You have to be taught these lessons from time to time. They were looking on fire. There's so much goddamn potential there. I hope they stick together and just, you know, sit down, review it. They've got a coach. You know, they have the resources in place with Hellraisers behind them. And I am actually excited to see where these guys are going to get in like the next half a year. Johnny just really like kicking ass on that mid, unexpectedly in a lot of people's eyes, right? Like I think he started like from Vega Squadron for a little bit, and then it's like Team Unique, and now Hellraisers, right? He's got a very short career, and he's proven himself. Nyx, of course, a little bit longer. I think he's Comanche. I think he was in the Comanche like 2015, 2016. Honestly, he's doing a good job in that role, and I absolutely love to see Funnick and Roger and the dynamic those two have in the team. And of course, Miposhka to round it out. Like, this team is going to be strong. I think if you give them a few more months, they're going to improve even more. I don't feel like any time I've seen them, I've overall felt that they were worse in newest tournament versus older tournament. That's the teams that made it the playoffs. I am going to quickly run through the teams that didn't. So let's do CIS first. Let's rip the band-aid off. Bait have huge issues. I think they know they have huge issues. I think they said something about they're going to take a break, and I hope they do. I think they need to like take a long look at what's going on with the team. Really, like, without sugarcoating crap, just say what the hell the problem is and try and fix it. Whether, because you can keep switching out players, but when you're still getting poor or even worse results, there's got to be something else that's the problem. I would honestly love to see like Dendi just get a captain in, like a season captain that can focus on the draft, focus on that side, that the captain level players in game, so Dendi can do what he does best, which is beat ass from that mid lane. Okay, and when you have to be the captain as well, I can't imagine that's an easy task, right? Like, you think about the one-on-one vacuum scenario and how the mid is usually the big playmaker player, and then on top of that, you have to be the captain. There's so many things you have to keep track of. I don't think I want to be in that position if you're on like top tier Dota, right? So hopefully they can get that sorted. Like I said, it sounds like they're going to be on a break for a little bit. I hope they come out looking stronger. It's a little bit harder to look weaker at this point, but they continue the loss streak. I think they've already broken records. They've got a longer loss streak than anyone else at this point, I think. And Oh, other than that, we look at Team Spirit. Team Spirit, I don't feel like much was expected of these guys going in. Sure, you got Afterlife. Sure, you got Immersion. You've got some capable players, but I don't feel like they found their groove. I'm trying to remember which series they even won, right? Like that's actually, I think that's the best way to summarize it, is that for me, Team Spirit, while they had some close ones because they were the 2-1s a lot of the time, they only got a victory against Bait. I couldn't even remember these games. All I can remember is when they put an anti-mage mid and lost at 17 minutes. That's not a good sign. I think at its core, like, drafting definitely needs to improve from Team Spirit. I don't think they need to shift roster just yet. Just experiment with it a little bit more, but definitely, like, especially on the draft front, now that I think back to 1 or 2 of those games, that's where you probably start to deal with the issue. Final CIS team, Fly to Moon. I actually love what I'm seeing out of Iceberg this tournament. Fly to Moon didn't make it, but they came close. They were 3-3. They were barely out of the run as 3 teams in the CIS got 4-2 overall scores. I like what I'm seeing from the squad. I like the dynamics at play, and I like the fact that V2 is especially a little bit more capable than maybe these traditional POS ones in these 4 Protect 1 type lineups that we see a lot. He's a bit more willing and able to get involved. He's a lot more aggressive, right? He's your Slark type player. And that plays really well in conjunction with Iceberg in general, because Iceberg has always been this mid that just attracts loads of attention. He magnetizes the enemy team towards him to distract for something else. But the way that General plays as well, I think, is more complementary to compared to previous rosters of Fly to Moon for Iceberg's playstyle, and that's where they can actually sync up and do a lot of work. Low Hard Dance, I don't feel like I saw anything too cray-cray from him, but he seems to be doing reasonably well. I wouldn't say he was doing crappy performances. I just don't think like I saw a standout moment. Like, if I was talking about VP Prodigy, I could very easily talk about like save on his wind range. Right, and always want to fly, dude. I love to see this guy still going for it. How long has it been? 8 years, I think. This guy has been rocking it for so long. I love the commitment, the grind constantly. I also just love the way his mind skips into weird, kind of quirky POS 5s or POS 2s occasionally. So I'm looking forward to seeing what Fly to Moon can do in the next tournament. I don't know if they have a coach. I think they don't have a coach currently. They used to have, I think, one of the casters, Shadow. So maybe get a new coach in, work from there. Let's see how it goes. And I just realized the video is getting long, so we should probably wrap this up with the final 3 teams, which is side. Team Nigma. Oh boy. What is it about Nigma? I feel like if I really just break it down in my mind, what it felt like Nigma were doing wrong is it was their relentless running at people a lot of the time, right? And I think you maybe see similar of OG, is these teams just wanting to kill, 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 kill. And it's the difference between like the areas in which you kill and what you can convert it into immediately afterwards, especially with like kills being worth so little gold. I mean, hell, if you probably gave these two teams Bounty Hunter, all of a sudden maybe they look even better and they make it through the group stage, because the way that they're playing is kind of your old style of Dota now. It's the previous patch where kills actually mattered, and I do miss that style. I honestly hope it comes back, and I think when it does, we'll see OG and Nigma especially do a lot better compared to this current tournament. I do honestly hope we get out of this current meta, because it's not nice, this feeling like kills, which is an integral part of the game, doesn't really count for squat. Like there is an argument that the way it counts is obviously you're removing someone else's goal gaining potential, but that feels like a flimsy way to think of it, right? Like it doesn't feel good to think of it that way. It's like, great, so I'm not getting anything extra. There's a bigger deviation between their net worth and mine, but I'm not personally getting that much out of it. And then of course OG Seed, the final team, who only managed to beat the big bro, or the big papa, the big daddy, as they managed to 2-1 OG, and that was literally the only victory they got. I don't know. It's a little bit of a tough one with this team. I feel like there's some weird dynamics. Like, I don't think the current meta necessarily suits Madara's playstyle. I do think of him as more of a traditional one. I do think of him as a guy who wants to be on heroes like Gyrocopter. That yes, they can be involved in early fights, but Gyrocopter right now just feels kind of flimsy anyway. I'm trying to think like where the big gaping issue lies, because I think there's a lot of potential between these players. It's just really hard to figure out why it's not being realized. I don't know if there's like a demoralization feeling coming in. That could be a possibility, especially when you consider like they're not playing terrible Dota. It's just they're playing in the most competitive region in the world. So it's very hard to look good when you have to face off against Secret, Alliance, Nigma, the big OG, like Liquid, all these people, right? It's a tough one. I hope they stick at it. I'm sure they've got some stuff to review from this. I'm not sure what their next tournament is, but I'm always excited to see Z-Freak especially. Z-Freak I've always been a big fan of. I love Chessie as well. He's a great dude. But like for me, Zach is one of my favorite people in Dota. I think like I love the way his mind works. I think he's so underrated. I think the word is underrated. Like that kid, is he even a kid at this point? I'm trying to think how old Zach is. Not a kid. Like 2 years younger than me. That kid, yeah, he's younger than me though. That's okay. That kid has one hell of a load of potential waiting to just be tapped into by a top tier captain. But that is my round out. That's my thoughts on the Pushka League. As I said, tomorrow I will probably look to get a video out about my personal feelings and the job I've done here at the Pushka League. But it's been a pleasure as always. I need to go pack because I've got to leave less than 24 hours. I'll go over that in another vlog as well. See, look, this is the next level pigeon, right? You get over 30 days in the daily vlogs instead of it just being spontaneous on the spot. There's now like there's overlapping stories. There's a story arc here. They lead into the next ones with subtle tease, and with that tease, I bid you